The really critical piece of evidence that we found, and that indeed has been almost ignored, is research review conducted by the government-funded body EPPI, Evidence for Policy and Practice Information. And that occurred in 2004. And it was about the impact on repeated testing of pupils' motivation and learning. The review crucially concluded that repeated testing and examination demotivated pupils, and it reduced their potential for learning. So far from doing what the government claimed it would do, it did, in effect, do the reverse. Other findings included evidence which showed that teachers adapt their teaching style to train pupils to pass tests, even when pupils do not have an understanding of higher order thinking skills that tests are intended to measure, and that the national curriculum tests lower the self-esteem of underconfident and low achieving pupils. This is not a recipe for success, this is a recipe for fulfilling failure. The government goes on, as successive governments have done so, to ignore key research. The Assessment and Reform Group in 2005 study of the role of teachers in the learning came to key conclusions based on an exhaustive review that it carried out. And crucially, and it is crucial, the Reform Group concluded that it is likely that opportunities to use assessment to help learning and reduce the gap between higher and lower achieving children are being missed. Many schools give the impression of having implemented assessment for learning, when in reality, the changes in pedagogy that it requires has not taken place. That is an indictment, I think, of the failure, the 20-year failure of the system of assessment and accountability that successive governments have followed. Our union believes that this finding is crucial to the future of the development of personalised learning. Personalised learning is fundamentally dependent on teachers integrating assessment for learning in their teaching practice. If the evidence is that the national curriculum tests are a barrier to the development of personalised learning, then the government simply has to choose between the two approaches. One cannot complement the other. There are many other studies too that will be important in the struggle that you have here in Australia in relation to this issue. There's a number of issues that we can pick out which we hope will help. The research by the Institute of Public Policy Research in 2001 found that pupils' mental health problems were directly linked to pressures connected with testing, and recommended that the government should take a less prescriptive approach, if only they would, in order to ensure that these mental health problems do not occur. The Demos publication, Beyond Measure 2003, concluded that the assessment system measured recall of knowledge rather than depth of understanding, and tested only a narrow section of the curriculum, and that it demotivated and lowered the self-esteem of learners. And finally, the studies of Cambridge University in the lives of primary and secondary school teachers of 2002 and 2004 respectively, John McBeath and Maurice Galton, concluded that high-stakes national curriculum tests have almost wiped out the teaching of some foundation subjects at Year 6. Secondary level, they found that the use of high-stake testing for the purposes of institutional evaluation along high class sizes, inappropriate curriculum, and let's not forget that, pressure to meet targets and keeping up with initiatives further exacerbated unacceptable pupil behaviour. We know that internationally the government in England is isolated in its approach to assessment. We believe the refusal of the government to engage with the evidence internationally and here in England has led to a failure of credibility in terms of any sophisticated research-based response. We believe now is the opportunity in England to seize the initiative. We in the National Union of Teachers intend to do that in terms of campaigning against the divisive effects of testing and league tables. We wish you luck we send you solidarity and greetings. I know that you will engage in that struggle like us. I know, like us, that you will succeed. Good luck, best wishes from all of us here in the National Union of Teachers.